Howdy ho, guys and gals. Welcome back to the tools. Recently, up here in Montana, winter decided to show its face a little bit early, and that got me thinking about car EDC, stuff that you should have in your vehicles at all times. Plus, we're going to have some bonus, some upgrades, stuff like that. So let's talk about it because honestly, especially if you're living in rural America and stuff like that, you should be prepared for about anything. All right, first off, bare minimum, you should have a multi-tool in your car. This thing comes in handy for so many different things. You don't need to spend a ton of money on these. This isn't going to, I'm not talking about something for everyday carry, something that's always going to be on your hip. That's not what this is. This is something that's just there in case of an emergency, random use, stuff like that. This is a great one. It comes with a bit driver, so you have it 1 to 8 different screwdriver tips on it. You got a pair of pliers, you got wire cutters in there, you got a knife. You got a bunch of other stuff that you'll probably never use, but hey, it's there if you need it. For $28, the Mossy Oak one, it's decent. It's good enough for that emergency kind of use, and that's really what it's there for. Now let's keep going, step it up a bit. The number one emergency you're likely to have with your vehicle is a flat tire. And being able to fix that flat tire on your own is going to save you a ton of money, get you back up and going faster. It is easier than you think it is. Trust me on this. Great little kit like this. And I'm going to do a video here, probably when the weather changes around here, we can go outside and shoot it and whatnot. It's really easy to do. We're going to show you how to do it. This great little kit, it's $22. It's going to cover most kind of tire issues that you're going to have. It's got all the tools you're going to need to fix pull out a nail, pull out a screw, something like that, put a plug in, fix it. The only thing it doesn't do is air up your tire, but it's right now it's $22. There's a 5% off coupon. It's going to knock, buck 10, something like that off of it. Anyway, it's, one of those bare minimums that you should have in your vehicle. Now, to go along with it is you need a way to inflate that. Now, a good cheap way to do this is the Astro AI. We've demoed that here on the channel before. It is not a super high-end air inflator. It just is, it's plasticky, it's cheap, but it is. It's $28. There's a 20% off coupon. There's almost always a sale or a coupon on it. And it just works. It just does the bare minimum. It's going to get you inflated enough to get you back to town, to get you to safety. Maybe, if you're not feeling confident with what you did, have somebody else take a look at it, take it to your local tire store or something like that. But for most people, it's going to get you rolling again, and that's what's important. For $28, 20% off coupon, that's $280, that's $4 or $5. That's going to be almost $6 off on that. The other thing is, if you're going to be doing anything on the side of the road, let other people know. There's a lot of distracted drivers, a lot of tired drivers out there. People who are not paying attention, especially again, if you're in rural America, you'll drive long distances with nothing. And then suddenly there's somebody on the side of the road, especially if you're, driving a black vehicle, wearing dark clothing. A set of triangles like this will save your life. There's a reason why OSHA mandates them for commercial use. $28 has its own case. Again, better safe than sorry on something like this. Don't do the flares. The flares, there's a bunch of smoke. Sometimes they're hard to light. They burn out. These will never burn out. Well, probably not. Anyway, a good tool set is a great thing to have. Not just for if your car fails on you, but if you're out doing something else. Every one of my vehicles has a tool set similar to this in there. Every one of them. And we rarely use it on the vehicle. It's always like we're over at a friend's house, or we're over doing this, or we're over doing that. And they're like, "Oh, if we can only fix this," I'm like, "Oh, I got a whole set in my car, brother. We're gonna hook you up. We're gonna go," and we do, and get it out. And they're not top of the line tools. They're just not, because it doesn't make sense to carry $1,000 worth of tools with you. Now these aren't cheap. These are Palo. I keep these in one of I keep it in my truck. This is the set I keep in my truck. And I like this set because it's got a tongue and groove. It's got long nose, which also have wire cutters built in. Some of them skip the tongue and groove, and they instead of doing long nose, they'll do side cutters. I don't need side cutters if I have long nose because they've got cutters in them. Or I've got my multi-tool with wire cutters in it, or a pocket knife, all right? A lot of things to cut with. I don't need, diagonal cutters for that. It's got a bunch of filler, sure, and they're not high-end tools, but again, they're emergency use tools that should rarely get used, but get used more often than not. Now, other people make tool sets like this. I also have this Crescent set. Again, they don't do the tongue and groove pliers, and I really wish they did. They've got the long nose and they've got the side cutters. I would gladly give up those side cutters for the tongue and groove, because the tongue and groove is that kind of catch-all. I can say tongue groove. A lot of people don't know what that is, aka channel locks. It's like calling an adjustable wrench a crescent wrench, a tongue and groove to a channel lock. Channel lock's the brand, all right? $138 on that. Now, these go on sale every so often. There's Pro Stormer. They make a set also. It doesn't seem that bad. $85. It's a lot cheaper than that. I don't have this set, but I have seen it, and it's not, it's not the most polished kind of set out there, but it's not terrible. And for $85, you got a set of tools with you whenever you need it. All right. Jumper cables. Good solid jumper cables can get you out of a lot of issues or help out other people. Now, I don't carry jumper cables in any of my vehicles, and I'm going to tell you why later in the video. But for some people, for $20, that's going to get you done. Now, that's 16 feet, 6 gauge. Here's the trick. You have to know about how far you need to go, and the further you go, the thicker the gauge, which is lower the number. So look at this. You look at a 25-foot set of extension cables, and you're looking at 2 gauge at $50 for a set. It's a good set. Don't get me wrong. It's got the side post connects. It's got the regular grips. It's a solid set. It's got the bag, but $50, we'll come back to that. All right. Got to have some sort of lighting. Got to have some sort of emergency lighting. I'm looking around because I usually have an O-light or two floating around my desk somewhere. This would be the one time. Oh, it's right here. It was camouflaged. I couldn't see it. Now I keep a smaller. This is a smaller one. It's a little right angle one. It was just the one I was using at the time. Actually, it's not my favorite. I actually really like the Baton 3. This one is one of my favorite. They make this and they make a stubby version of it. I don't remember what the stubby version's called. It's the same length as this one. One of the things I love about them is they have this double curved belt clip. So I can put it in my belt like this, or I could take this and I could put it on, and I could put it right on my cap if I was any kind of hat, and now I've got a headlamp, all right? You know, this, of course, is the right angle. You can put it on a shirt pocket. You can do stuff like that. I could put it on the neck of my shirt if I had to. There's lots of different ways you could do it. Lets you work hands-free. $90 now. O-Light, we're a big fan of O-Lights. They might want to hold off. They have a sale like once a month, once every 2 months. I don't know. I'm going to put links to everything down below. If you need it now, I get it. Wait for the sale. What you might be able to do is go and check out one of my last videos on the O-Light sale. In there's a coupon for things that aren't on sale. So you might be able to use that as well. Now, another one that a lot of people like is this one with the Seeker 4. It's a broader spectrum light, a brighter, wider light. It's got 4 LEDs. It's got this nice wheel for control. The thing is, the black part of it here, right here, it's soft. And it just is a texture thing for me. I can't stand it. Some people like it. Go and check out my buddy Doc over at Last Best Tool. He's got a review on it not too long ago, I think. He did anyway, I'm sure you can find out. He does covers a lot of the O-Light stuff as well. Go check him out. I'll put a link down below. He's a fellow Montana guy, so I'm trying to help get you people over. He has great content. More people need to see it. The other thing, the last thing I'm going to say that you have to have is a fire extinguisher. I travel a lot, and every time I go down the highway, I see not every time I go down, but every trip. All right, every trip, somewhere there, back, so there's always some car burning. I don't know what it is, but I always run into, and there are always people traveling long distance. They're in the middle of nowhere. All their stuff's in the car. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for them. If I'd gotten there sooner, I would have been glad to help them, pull out my fire extinguisher and help them. But for $22.48, at least have this fire extinguisher. It's not a huge fire extinguisher. It's not going to do a ton of stuff, but it will, if you get there early, it'll take care of it. Okay. Now let's talk about, this great saying, pain is certain, suffering is optional. Life is going to throw stuff at you. A lot of it's going to suck. All right. The question is, if you choose not to prepare, do you want to suffer through it? Because I don't. So I like to be prepared, Boy Scout kind of thing. All right. Duct tape. I know it's a joke. We're all going to laugh at it. No, duct tape, dude. You carry a roll of duct tape. You should always carry. And here's what you can do. Pro tip. You could squish that roll and make it oblong so it's not as big and bulky and stuff like that. I do that with most of my rolls of tape. Another kind of tape, electrical tape. I know a lot of people like to be down on electrical tape these days. Electrical tape will make most things water resistant. No, waterproof, but water resistant. There's a lot of reasons in a vehicle you might want to have water resistance on something, right? It's not just for electrical. Okay, fuses. Having a box of fuses in your car just seems like a no-brainer. Get some fuses. They're $10. Just get the fuses. All right, tow hooks. Maybe most people like, hey, if you're living in the middle of Manhattan, probably not something you need. Out here in Montana, I don't know anybody who doesn't have, at least in one of their vehicles, a tow strap, something like this, okay? Now, this is a cheap one. This is at least you've got this one, the $17. Now, I like this kit here because I want to be able, I've got a hitch on the front and on the back of my vehicle. With this kind of, I can, the shackle kind of thing, I can just clip right onto that, pull from the front, pull from the back. It's got a great strap, nice bag, good carry. Rhino makes great products. It's not cheap. It's $110. But you know what? It's for me, I pulled more than my fair share of people out of a ditch. So maybe if you're like that and you use it a bunch, get the higher end strap. All right. Traveling with an ODB2 reader is, again, one of these things. I almost put it in the must category. I really did. But you just, especially if you're going long distance, you're going to grandma's house or over the river and through the woods, have a scanner with you. You never know what's going to happen. Now, nothing's worse than being on a long distance road trip and all of a sudden hear that bing and that light comes on and you don't know what it is and you got 400 miles to go. Get an ODB2 scanner. You can get better ones than this, but this is for $50, 20% off. That's going to knock $10 off. That's $40. Get that, throw it in the car. You can use it for other stuff. Is it the super high end, does everything whiz-bang kind of? No, but it will at least tell you what the code is and probably clear them. This is an inflator. I keep one of these inflators in the car. My tires need to get aired up pretty high. I run them, they go as high as 80 when I'm doing it, when I'm towing, stuff like that. Run them normally around 60. $90, it's more than most people are willing to pay, but it's a great convenience for me. I use it for all sorts of stuff. I air up the kids' bikes, my tires. At the very least, on them, it'll get you, up and running and get you to that gas station or tire repair store, that kind of stuff. All right, the other thing, this is why I don't carry jumper cables, because I have these. Now, this is the JS2000. It's the middle of the road. It'll take care of most stuff. $90, 15% off coupon on it. Remember, if you see this stuff later, coupons will change. But, just wait a week or two. They always go on sale again. Here's the JS3000. I keep this in all of my vehicles. Why? Well, up here we've got a Ram Cummins, 1 ton. We got a Suburban, and we've got a Ford Excursion XL. Not Excursion, the Expedition. All fairly big engines. I want to make sure I have not just enough juice, more than enough juice. And 9 times out of 10, I'm using them to help somebody else out. So you know what? That 50 feet, it can be 1,000 feet. I don't care. I just take it and go with me. All right. And I can go to wherever I need. I've rescued so many people with these. Oh, the karma points are just adding up. I just waiting for the booklet to see what I can buy at the end of the year. You have to be old enough to get that joke. Astro multimeter. This one's kind of if you got to be really technical to really now. You don't have to be really technical, but you have to have more than the average bear to know what this is going to really benefit you. But for some of you, consider it for $12, 5% off coupon, $13, 5% off coupon. All right, let's talk about the most controversial topic you could possibly think of when it comes to car EDC, and that is, should you carry an impact wrench in your vehicle? And I'm not in any way going to tell you need a $280 impact wrench, because the only thing you're really probably going to be doing on the side of the road is taking off lug nuts. Okay. And in most cases, a breaker bar is probably a better option for most people, but some people keep asking me about it. Now there's these things. All right. Now these work really weird. All right. And don't get focused on the shape of it, because there's different ones. There's ones that look more traditional, stuff like that. But basically what it is a motor that spins up a wheel. And when the wheel gets going fast enough, the hammer comes out, hits the internal anvil, and causes it to clack over one. They do kind of work, but sometimes they don't. I can't recommend one. But some people get by them. If you get like a Honda Civic, something like that, it might be enough for you. Okay. It plugs in your cigarette lighter. It reaches all around the car. It might be enough. It's probably easier than using a wrench. So you could probably get away with it. Anyway, next up, this is what I carry in my vehicle. Now, full disclosure, they sent me it. I didn't pay for it, because when it first came out, it was like almost $200. It was ridiculous. Here's the thing. This battery on it is a big old lithium ion. This thing right, come on. This thing right here is a big old lithium ion battery pack. It comes off, you can plug a USB-C into it. That's how you charge it. You can use it as a battery pack. You can even buy, they have, I kid you not, they've got jumper cables that plug into it. You can buy separately and will also work. I use it because as a battery pack, it's already self-managing and it works. It really does. It's $140. It does work. I'm not, again, it's not something I can come up and say like, hey, this is going to work for you. It works on my Ram truck. So, and it's a 1 ton. It's 120 foot-pound, I think, on the lug nuts. It's not the heaviest out there, but it's pretty decent. All right, let's keep going though. Here's some of the other options. If I had to start my own money, here's what I would do. I would get the DeWalt 12 volt max brushless half-inch cordless impact wrench. It's a little 12 volt. It's got more than enough power to take off lug nuts on almost any kind of passenger vehicle or truck. It's $87 tool only, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get me probably a 5 amp hour battery, some other battery. Believe it or not, lithium ion batteries just sitting, they should last 6 months to a year with a reasonably high charge in it. If you just charge it every 6 months or once a year, you'll probably be fine. All right, and then this. Now, this is not made by DeWalt, but you can buy this. It's $50, and it's a 12-volt charger that plugs into your car. Now, what you could do is you could go back and you could get this one and just swap them out. Charge one in the house, and then every 6 months, swap it out and put the other one in. Just set a reminder in your phone. Go, hey, you know who you are. Set a reminder for every 6 months repeating to swap batteries. That's it. Or you do this option and you just charge it in your vehicle. When it's done, you unplug it, throw it in the back, and again, probably set a reminder to check every 6 months or a year. Hey, what's the battery level? Check battery level. Set reminders. It's a great way to, to not forget stuff. All right. Here's something you should also have. I love these flip socket sets. I have this one from Nico. Full disclosure, they did send it to me. $30. It handled not only the sockets, the lug nuts that you have, but pretty much anyone's out there. They got that little extender that allows you to flip them, use both sides of it. You've got 1, 2, 3, 8 different lug nuts in a nice little box, and you just always have it with you. $30 on that one. All right. Now, maybe put a comment down below if you agree with me. I told Harbor Freight. I reached out to Harbor Freight. I'm like, guys, here's what I need. I need a Bauer battery that has USB recharging built in. That's all I'm asking. I asked for it to be lithium was LFP rather than lithium ion. There's reasons. They work better in colder temperatures. They work better in hotter temperatures. They have more recharges available, and they never catch on fire. So if they kind of blew me off, because it's a kind of a screwball request, but put it down in the comments like, hey, no, I agree with him. We want an LFP USB rechargeable battery so we can buy a nice little, compact impact wrench like this for $60 and just keep them in the vehicle whenever we need it. Is it going to take off, a suspension bolt? No, but it's just fine for doing basic work. All right, let's keep going here. And as I said, breaker bar, $22. It works. And it's probably easy to store behind a back seat or under the seat or something like that. This one is one I don't have an answer for, okay? I don't have an answer for what's the best jack you could use. There's a lot of different options. Most cars these days come with like a scissor jack, something terrible like that. We all hate them. Let's admit it. We all hate them. They mostly work. If they don't have one, you get this one for $26.90. I don't know anything about it. I'm just putting it there to say, hey, there's a scissor jack. You could conceivably carry a 3-ton long range. This is the jack I use at home. It will lift my truck, the front end or the back end. I can take tires off, do all that kind of stuff. The thing weighs like 110 pounds. It is incredibly cumbersome. It's really easy to pinch a finger. There's a reason they call floor jacks, because you leave them on the floor. It's really not made to be picked up and ported around, but you could do that. They do also have an aluminum one, and I didn't include the aluminum one because it's not as high reach, and I'm a truck guy, so I want the more high reach. The other option is, if you want to be ridiculous, is you could keep a Badlands 3-ton off-road jack with you. Now, if you're an overlander, extreme 4x4, totally get it. This is what you want to go with. It's it'll do it. It's got the handle. It's lighter. It'll do long reach and then some. It's got like extenders and stuff on it. I got a full video on it. It's fabulous. It's $320. Not sure if that's the option you want to go with, but it will work. What is the best option out there? Now, the one I keep talking about is a bottle jack, but bottle jacks are great in the driveway. On the side of the road, there's some kind of lean going on. I really worry about bottle jacks, and they don't extend that far. I know someone's going to say a high lift jack. I have a high lift jack. Yeah, I guess I could do it. What I need is a high lift jack adapter that goes into a 2-inch receiver, because then I could attach it to the front or the back. I might have to weld one up myself. Maybe that's the way I should go. Let me know what you think. All right, and let's keep going. We got rhino straps. Tie down straps are just kind of something good. If you have a truck, I see, here's the deal. I see idiots going down the road with a mattress tied with twine to the top of their car. You know it's going to come off. You just know it's going to set itself free, fly home to mommy. Just keep some straps like this. They're $35. It's a whole pack of straps. Look at that. And you got extensions, you got everything else. You got a nice, carrying bag. They're rubber molded so they won't scratch. Just be smart. It's $35. I don't want to run into your mattress on the road or your ladder. Can we talk about you dudes with the ladder? Oh my gosh. All right. Anyway, this is something coming from somebody who lives in the Rockies. Get yourself a blanket. All right. Arcticus military wool blanket. They come, look at, you got all the colors you can choose from as long as you like muted earth tones. That's what they got. Look at it. I like the gray myself. They're just great little blankets. You can huddle up in a blanket. I got stuck in traffic in November and coming back from Bozeman on the Bozeman Pass. Probably had to be like 200 cars and probably 24 semis. And it was the semis that caused the problem in a driving snowstorm that went from nothing to 12 inches in a couple hours and was getting worse. I was there for 4 hours. By the time I just said, screw it, threw it in a 4-wheel drive and was ready to drive off the side of the road and just make it to the next exit so I could turn around and go back and spend the night in Bozeman. Luckily, like 4 other guys in trucks about the size of mine said, let's do it. And we all just straight plowed away to the exit and allowed other people behind us to get off. But I was looking at my gas was going down. My diesel was going down. But I knew that, well, at the very least, I've got a blanket and other stuff in the car that could probably keep me warm and whatnot, but I wasn't looking forward to it. Don't be the news headline. All right. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. Also, scrapers. If you want a serious scraper, this is the go-to one. Everyone I know up here has a version of this scraper. This is the extended scraper. It slides out even further. You can angle the brush so you can sweep down at an angle, straight across. I have a huge truck. I'm 6'2". Even I can't reach the center of my windshield. This is what gets us on all our vehicles. We keep one in the house. We keep one in each vehicle. It's got on the other end, it's got the flat scraper, and then it's got the super aggressive scraper. I couldn't probably drive around here without one of these. It's kind of the go-to one for Montana up here. You'll find it in every gas station. And then I keep a snow shovel like this, a collapsing, sport utility design snow shovel. I honestly have no idea what the holes are for. Maybe they're for tying it down or something. I just throw it in the bed of my truck. It comes apart into pieces for a smaller vehicle. You can store it like that. Again, don't carry those little military shovels. They're cute and stuff like that. If you're going off-road and you're going to be moving dirt, fine. But if you're going to be facing snow, $30 could save your life or maybe someone else's. All right. Anyway, let's keep going here. And then the number one thing that I think you do not need, stop buying these things, are the glass breaker / seatbelt strap cutters. I got a good amount of friends who are like long time paramedics, and they said they've never had, like, they got issued them or they bought them, never used them. Can't think of one case where somebody cut themselves out there where they needed to cut themselves out. And they've seen tons of them where they're like in the glove compartment. You're in a wreck. You're locked in your seat by your seatbelt, and this thing's in the glove compartment that's hard to reach when you don't have your seatbelt on. No, it's not going to work. All right. Also, you're on the inside, right? Getting out of glass from the inside is actually relatively easy. It's from the outside where it's convex to you, where you're like, you punch it, you're going to hurt yourself. But if you're inside, it's concave. You're just already going along with the shape. Trust me, you don't know how many windows I've accidentally broken because I was trying to knock ice or snow off of them from the inside. It's too easy. You don't need this. I look for statistics on how many people are saved every year with these things. Can't find anything on it. As far as I can tell, they're a great idea that just never really needs to happen. You've got to, if you got to keep a pocket knife in your pocket, you can cut the seatbelt with that. You can use the end of the pocket knife to smash out the glass. Anyway, rant over. There you go. There's your automotive and truck EDC for 2023. If there's something you think I missed, I would love to hear it. I did a bunch of research looking into this. Put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear solutions, especially if you've got a great portable jack solution. That's the one that's really befuddling me right now. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Don't forget, links and everything are down below the video. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.